Hey guys, yeah, BRV here on this first weekend of July. Yes, it's already kind of July here. Pretty hot and humid outside now. But today we're going to be talking about we've been through E3 2017. I've been doing my upgrades here, and I've been on the trails over here, and what have I spent on a new I've replaced the TV because the old one I have is just 12 years old and it's on its last legs, but I wanted to just the TV was still working, so I mean if someone wants it or like that, and they can have it like this here. If someone has a last leg TV and they can be able to provide one that still works and stuff. That backup power, and I've gone to Bluetooth here, a new Bluetooth Bose headset for so it's like gaming without wires. I don't have to deal with wires, and this unlike the previous one, which is the 25, this one uses rechargeable batteries instead of the AA's. Finally, Bose, you've gone to the 21st century. I can be able to recharge them with the batteries on the go with the cables, and but we're talking about this generation of gaming. I have to say the 8th generation is, among the worst. The PS4 was a bait and switch console. I call it a bait and switch console because right now Microsoft, Sony has really they really was, and it's sometimes of a shame for me to buy a PS4, and I'm really probably at that point, what's the point in buying a PS4 Pro? Because the Xbox One is completely backwards compatible now. Well, almost like not 100% backwards compatible, but at least Microsoft does carry some backwards compatibility. And now it just comes up to the point where, especially PS4 and Jim Ryan, which is another piece of crap person, he says, "Oh, Nintendo is the reason that it's been expensive here." Look, I mean, you're supposed to compete with Nintendo's Switch. Now, why the fact that you're not producing I don't know why you're not doing crossplay. I mean, if you love the Nintendo, if you actually give credit to Nintendo, then why don't you why are you against crossplay? All right. I think it's in the best interest to produce crossplay in a sense here, so if people have PS4 and the Switch, the PS4 and the Switch can transfer files in between these both fields of the games, and on the go, and but no, you're against that. And I mean, look, if you're praising the Nintendo, why don't you just do crossplay? And the fact that he just, disses on the classic games, calling them just archaic, ugly-looking graphics of the games. I mean, it's not just the graphics. It's the overall the attachments to the games. Like, ooh, why do you want to play these on the PS4? Look, Sony is really screwed up. Sony is effed up right now. Jim Ryan really needs to be terminated from his job, because he's killing Sony. I mean, he's he wants to have it all themselves, which is gonna be, but look, I mean, all that saying and stuff is gonna just backfire on Sony in the long run, because look, I mean, the Switch to me right now is starting to look like, to me, a first-party trap like the Wii U. It looked really good at the first point, but now I'm having sort of doubts of the Switch. Yes, I mean, I was upon the millions and billions of people who were gotten the Switch, but now I'm saying, wait a minute. Where are the third parties that we were promised? You see, first party is great and all, but we need third party support. The third party AAA games. I mean, Capcom shied away from it. At least I think Square Enix said that they're with it, but I don't see Final Fantasy. But how about you release Final Fantasy 15 and 16 for the Switch? Because the good old days of the Super Nintendo, like when we had those third-party supports, I mean, that's a part of the reason why the Super Nintendo was really successful. Yeah, I mean, Nintendo was more laxed on the restrictions on the third party. Says, hey, you can't produce for other companies here, but that's not. But that's been changed in the Super Nintendo. But you know what? The Super Nintendo, along with the Sega Genesis, they were awesome consoles. Super Nintendo was distant. Nintendo was distant on Sega, and Sega was distant on Nintendo. And I mean, it was an awesome fourth gen. Fifth gen was great. I mean, companies dissed on each other. The PlayStation, the PS1, the N64, they were both. Well, N64 wasn't as great, remembrance, in the Super Nintendo. But there were still good systems. PS and the PlayStation and 64, yeah, I had both of them. The PS2, Dreamcast, and the Xbox, yeah, I mean, that generation, companies dissed on each other. And it was a really great thing now. But this generation, Sony, third generation was a definite downslide. Seventh generation, last generation. Seventh generation was bad enough. This generation's worse. Did we deal with did we have to deal with games that were buggy on day of release? No. Did we have to deal with, not unnecessary restrictions? No. And the Switch has problems already. Games were $60, especially since it's on a handheld unit now. So now we're paying $60 on a handheld device, which isn't really. I think the Switch isn't really a. To me, the Switch doesn't feel like a successor to the Wii U. It's more of a handheld system, but I don't know. It's just now becoming whatever it is here. But I have to say, thus far, broken games. The key moment of this generation was Little Big Planet 3. I was ticked, and I posted a Facebook post and say, fix the level. I made a mockery of, hey, here's this new thing. How about a new fix-up for the game? And guess what? Sumo Digital just blocked me. Yeah, they completely, they were promising 100% backwards compatibility with PS with Little Big Planets 1 and 2. Nope. Half the stuff wasn't there. There still was stuff for missing. And, as soon as I blocked them, I say, F it. I'm just not going to play your game anymore. And you know what? Like that. EA was a bunch of crap. Lately. DRM, I still remember the SimCity debacle. So I tell you, the Xbox One, I think Microsoft is starting to grow a few stems. Right now, the Xbox One is backwards compatibility. Right now, I'm just, leaning towards getting the Xbox One. And I dissed on the system in this beginning, but now I'm starting to change my mind. The PS4 is right now is now. The Switch is starting to have a doubts with. So, it's just the 8th generation is the worst generation. We're hoping that the next generation of consoles, when the Xbox next comes out, the PS5 and Nintendo's new console, comes out. The Switch isn't really I don't call the Switch a successor to the Wii U. I think I call it more of a successor to the 3DS, because look, the Switch is a handheld unit, guys, and so yeah, this is me, JD out. The 8th gen sucks, so yeah.